Hey everybody, Adrianne from Happy Hour Projects here, and I'm working from home today, so I thought I'd quick jump on and show you a little project. I've got one kid taking a nap and one kid in the bath right now, so I've got time for about 10 minutes. So we're going to keep this one short and simple today. I paired up with the ribbon retreat today. They sent me a whole bunch of patriotic-themed ribbon, which is going to be, we're going to turn these into patriotic bracelets. Basically, all these are, I'm going to show you, try to show you up close the best as I can. They're just large hole beads, and they've got knots in between, and then you tie them on with the ribbon. So if you haven't made jewelry at all, this is actually a perfect beginner project because you don't need any tools or really any special skills. You just need to know how to tie a knot. I am using a 3/8 inch wide ribbon that I found. This one was a little bit thick. This is 7/8. I would say really anything in the 1/2 inch range should work pretty well. And I'm going to show you my beads. These are large hole beads, just because they're a lot easier to thread that way. I'm going to use about 8 of them, 8 to 10, just depends on how big your wrist is. Now, you may want to cut your ribbon a little bit longer. I cut mine 40 inches because that's what worked well for my starter bracelet. But you may want to just go a little bit longer because you can always cut it down later. What you can't do is add more length once you get started. So you're going to measure in about 12 inches or so. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. This will be one of your ribbon ties at the end. So you just want to start making an overhand knot here. And jumping right in because I don't know how much free time I'm going to get. So you tie your knot. It's going to get things started. And you can just start threading your beads on. Now I've cut mine at an angle just because I like the way it looks. One of the things that I also did is I used a candle just to melt the edge just a tiny bit, just so that won't fray while you're working with it. Because as you're threading these through and pulling these through the beads, it's going to take just a little bit of abuse. So basically here's what I've done. You've got your little stopper here. You want to tie an overhand knot on the other side of the bead now. Want to get that as close to the bead as you can. And of course, since I have an audience, I didn't get it right the first time. It's always the way with it, right? So basically what I've got here is, see if I can show you against a better background. But you've got a bead with 2 knots right next to it. And then you just keep going. This is kind of a rare treat to be home on a weekday for me. That's not something that I normally do. But yesterday, I quit my job. My day job, I guess I should say. I guess I'm still a blogger, so I guess I'm still employed. Now, I found these beads just at one of my local craft stores. They're nothing fancy. They just happen to be sparkly. They just happen to be patriotic colors. Anything with a large hole is going to work fine. See if you can find something that's got, if you're shopping online, if you're looking at the specs on something, I would say try to find something that's got at least a 3mm hole, maybe like 4 millimeters. Just kind of depends. I didn't have an actual size on these when I found them, so I can't tell you how big they are. If I were eyeballing it, I'd say they're probably 15mm beads, maybe 12. But yeah, they just have a nice big hole that makes them threading on really nicely here. So I guess it's kind of scary, the idea of, you know, being on my own, employed. My husband's actually at work right now. But he is usually the one holding down the home front, and I'm usually off bringing home the bacon. So this is kind of a little role reversal that we've got here. So if anybody has tips for how to job hunt, because it's been ages for me, long before Craigslist. I already got my first spam offer though, so that means I'm doing something right, right? But yeah, if anybody's got tips, anybody's got a lead, anybody's got a crafty job for me, you let me know. We're coming right along here. Almost done. Just got one more bead to go here. See how quickly these make up. One last knot here on the end. And here we go. So basically, this is just going to fit around your wrist, and I don't have anybody to tie this on for me. So maybe I picked the wrong project here. But once you have an extra pair of hands, they just tie around your wrist, and you just tie a bow to tie it on. So I've got some excess ribbon here. Looks like I ended up with about 4 extra inches or so. So you may be able to get by with a little bit less. You just need enough to be able to tie a nice cute bow to close these off. And you can make them in all kinds of pretty colors for all of the different holidays, but they make up so fast that they're great projects to work on with your kids. See, I got this a little bit off center here. Okay, and there we go. Ta-da! Ribbon and bead bracelets. Thanks for joining me, guys.